Hey there friends, what's going on? This is David Potts with Song Notes, and I have a lesson today for The Man Who Sold the World. This is a David Bowie song originally, but it is the Nirvana version, which holds the place in my heart. One of the first songs I ever learned on guitar back in the day. Super fun to play. So I'm going to model this one off the Nirvana version, keep the lesson I'm doing in standard tuning, although I do have a playthrough in E-flat tuning, which is what Nirvana uses in a separate members-only video on my website. Now, sheet music, I have it available through my website. It's available for purchase. It's legal. It's fully licensed. So you can get that. It's 4 pages. It gives you everything you need to know, not just the lyrics, but the chords, a couple different ways to strums, tabs for the solo, the scales, and all that stuff. So I'm going to teach that to you in this free lesson. But if you become a member, and if you are already a member, you have access to a members-only video I did where I'll do 2 playthroughs of this song. One is in standard tuning, using the simple strum, nothing fancy. The second one is in E-flat tuning, and I'll layer in some of the rhythm guitars so that I can play the scale section and the solo section on top of it. It sounds really cool. Those will really help you take this to the next level. Get all this and more over at my website, playsongnotes.com. Thanks to all of you who are supporting me through Patreon membership. And if you're not a member, please consider supporting me. If you like me, you like my lessons, you want to see more of them, the money goes to me. It really helps me out in keeping the fire burning under this project of mine. It makes all this possible. You also get a big discount on my sheet music, and you get access to my entire library of instructional PDFs. Great stuff. So it's available for you there. Let's get into the lesson note. You can skip ahead if you know what you're looking for, and I'll see you all on the other side. Let's go. All right, so let's get into this one. Just before I get into teaching you that intro riff, reminder, I'm going to be in standard tuning for this lesson just because I think most of our guitars are there already. You can take what I'm going to teach you, tune down a half step to E-flat tuning if you want to play along with Nirvana. But for this lesson, the tutorial part, I'm going to be in standard tuning. On my website, for my members, I have a members-only video where I do a playthrough in E-flat tuning from beginning to end. So if you want to hear what that sounds like, you can get that over on my website, but I wanted to call out that standard tuning note. Okay, so first we're going to look at the riff. This is the most distinct, memorable part of this song, and let's just start with that because it's the first thing you hear, the funnest to play, and then we'll be on our way. So the riff fundamentally looks like this. It's not a lot of notes, right? We're going to be on the third string only, 2nd fret, open, and then 3rd fret. Those are the notes that are going to make up this riff. Okay, I'll teach you how to play it, but just first understand that 1 string only, and basically at most we're going to use 2 fingers. Now I've seen people play this, like Marty on his lesson for this song. He's using 1 finger. That's a totally legit fine way to play it. In some ways it's easier. And that's a cool part about this riff. It's 1 string, 3 notes. You can do it with 1 or at most 2 fingers. Okay, so the first thing is just get comfortable with these three notes. Sort of, get familiar with the toys we're playing with here. And then we can get into the technique and everything. Now I'll show you first this 2-finger version. So we're going to just play the 2nd fret 3 times, open 3rd string, right? And then this next part is the hard part. Basically, we want to play 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, open. Now to do that, the way that I play it and that Kurt Cobain plays it basically is you're going to pluck the 2nd string once, hammer on your middle finger, and then pull off your middle finger. And when you do that fast, right, that was 1 pluck. Even though I'm getting 3 notes there, 1, 2, 3, right? So if you're just getting started with this, newer with guitar, you can pluck all the strings if you want. It's hard to do that though with the timing you hear in the song. That's why you really want to do the hammer on and pull off if you can. And like I said, you also can do the slide, where basically you pluck that 2nd string note with either finger on it, and then you got to keep it pushed down though as you slide from 2 to 3, and then back down from 3 to 2. And again, you do it quicker, and it's going to keep that sound. This is a tricky riff, even though it's not a lot of notes. It's hard to get that steady tempo and be in time. So if you can put on a metronome and play it, it's going to put you in a good spot as far as building that skill. So that's the main riff. Now we're going to use this riff throughout the entire song. Now, while I'm on the topic of the riff, I want to quickly talk about how you can play this riff on top of some of the chords that are being played in this song. So, for example, this A chord, this D minor chord, and this F chord. These are all chords that are heard during the intro, for example, while there's guitar strumming in the background while Kurt Cobain's doing the... right? So what you can do if you're playing this a solo acoustic guitar like I am and you want to fill things out a bit is you can, on the first strum of the riff, play some of the notes from that chord. So for the A, I'm just going to bar the 2nd fret. Okay, I have a whole separate lesson on this technique if you want to get it. That's going to be my first pluck, and then you just play the riff like normal. And for the D minor, and then for the F. That's a tough one. The F is really tricky to do in this regard because you basically have to get your hand in there to do a bit more involvement with the chord. Whoop. But it's a cool thing to keep in mind. So I had the tabs for this in my sheet music as well, and I'm going to show you more on this later when I do my full playthrough. You'll see the role that this plays. Now this F, I don't like doing the riff and the F at the same time. It's just too hard to do cleanly, so I'll do this strum. Okay, all you're doing in all 3 of those tabs is removing your finger from the 3rd string on the last 4 strums of each sequence, okay? I mainly use it on the F. Okay, I just wanted to teach you that because it's a really cool thing, and I have that tabbed out on page 3 of my sheet music. Okay, so now that we know the riff, let's look at basically the chords we're going to need and then look at the intro, verse, and chorus section. Fortunately, there's not that many chords in this song, which makes it a bit easier to learn than you might expect. So the chords from beginning to end are going to be this A major, and we'll have a D minor. Okay, these are both must-know open chords. Now we do have an F. This is one of those songs where playing the full barred F is actually something I do some of the time, but sometimes I'll use just the middle 4 strings. I have a lesson all on the F chord, and it's like a cheat sheet showing you 8 different ways to play it. So get that lesson if you can, because that's going to give you a lot of options. If you have trouble with this F or even this F, there's a lot of other options you can use, and I don't want you to feel like you're stuck if you can't do the full bar, okay? But again, if you see me going like this, that's just my middle 4 string version of the F. We'll need a C major chord, and then we're going to need this C sharp chord. This is a weird chord. It's not typically in the key of F, which this song is in. So the full way to play this would be 4, 6, 6, 6. I'm sort of barring with my ring finger, which is tricky to do. If that's hard, I recommend just doing the power chord version, which is 4, 6, 6. And you're going to use index, ring, and pinky. Okay, and if that's giving you trouble, you can just do a 2-finger power chord. Now, we'll come back to that C sharp later because you don't need that until the chorus. But now that we have those chords, let's look at the intro, okay? Because you're going to see that we have this riff is being played on top of the intro. The riff is played 6 times total. And every time you play the riff, there's going to be an implied chord below it, okay? I have the A for 2 measures, right? 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. D minor, 2, 3, 4, D minor, 2, 3, 4, to F, 2, 3, 4, and F, 2, 3, 4, D minors. We passed upon the stair. Okay, so that intro, all I did is I just strummed once on the 1 count. This is, if you're going to play the riff, you don't need to... That's one way you can do it, where you basically do the strum like I showed you in the earlier tab. You do the strum on the 1 count, but then you play the full riff. A minor, A twice, D minor, F. then you just let D minor ring, and that's the end of the intro. So you don't need to do the chords, and technically you don't need to do the riff if you don't want, if you just want to strum it. Now for a strumming pattern, I'm going to use, the simple one to use here is going to be a down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up, 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and that's what I'm going to use for this song. If that's giving you trouble, you can try just doing down strums on the 1 and the 3 count, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you could do just down strums on the 2 and the 4 count, like the backbeat, right? 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Pick one of those if you're just getting started with this song and you're sort of getting used to the chord progression, right? You could play basically, we passed upon the stairs, 2, 3, 4. We spoke of was and when, 1, 2, 3, 4. Though I wasn't there. That's on the 2 and the 4 count. Likewise, you could do the 1 and the 3 count if you want. He said I was his friend. 1, 2, 3, 4. Came as a surprise. 2, 3, 4. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So what I did just there is I played the first verse using down strums on the 1 and the 3 count. If we were to play the verse with the full strum, down, down, up, down, 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 up, it would be like this, We passed upon the stair. We spoke of was and when, although I wasn't there. He said I was his friend, which came as a surprise. I spoke into his eyes, I thought you died a long time ago. Now there's something I want to tell you here. See that chord that's in parentheses, that A, over I thought you died alone? That is the only measure in the whole song that has 2 beats instead of 4. Every other chord you see on the first page is 4 beats per measure. So when you see a chord written on page 1, that means play that chord for 4 beats, right? For 1 measure equals 4 beats. But that A is the only time. It's the last line of the verse, the first verse and the second verse. You see that A. That's going to mean it's a 2-beat measure. So you just do a 2-count strum. You just take whatever strumming pattern you use, you chop off the 3 and 4 end. You just do the, 1, 2 end would be the first 2 beats of the full strumming pattern. And you do that. So let's play those last 2 lines again for context. So you'll see what I do. Which down, down, up, down, up, 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 down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so I wanted to call that out. That's how you're going to strum the verse. The verse is all strummed, which is great. The final strum, if you want to get the most advanced, this is kind of what captures the Nirvana version the best, I think, is you're going to do a down, up, chop, up, down, up, chop, up, down, up, chop, up, down, up. Okay, this is a percussive slap. Again, I have a whole separate lesson on this technique as well with the PDF. The main idea here is you want to sort of bring your fleshy part of your hand, your palm, into your guitar right before you strum, and it's gonna make this cool sound. So for context, let me play the second verse using that pattern. This is, again, the more advanced one. All right. I laughed and shook his hand, made a way back home. I searched for foreign land, years and years of roam. I gazed a gazeless stare. We walked a million hills. I thought that died a long time ago. Okay, that's a tougher one for me to do with confidence, so that's why I had a little stumble there. But that is a nice one to have, and I do have that written up in my sheet music as well, if you want to follow that. So next, let's move into the chorus. I'll just show you how to strum it real quick, and then later on I'll get into the scales, the really fun riffs you can do there. So the chorus, it's going to look like this. So we're going to be we're going to start the scale, the chorus, basically on the C that ends the verse. Okay, we're going to be on that C for 3 measures, right? A long, long time ago. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3. Oh no, C, 2, 3. Not me, F, 2, 3. We at C sharp, lost an F, troll. Then you'll face C to face F. With the C sharp who sold the world. Okay, so what I did right there is I played that last line that's after the chorus. And whenever you see the black asterisk with the golden highlight, that means the riff is played over that chord, okay? And I play the riff just there. So basically, that's how you would strum. You'd strum the chorus, just that C to that F to that C sharp to that F, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, F, down, up, C sharp, and then A with the riff, do 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 do, A with the riff, then D minor with the riff, D minor with the riff, then to F, then D minor, and you let it ring. Okay, so that's how you're gonna do the chorus. So with that, you have everything you need to play the entire song. There is an outro section, but that's effectively just the post-chorus line there with the A and the D minor and the F drawn out for quite a bit of measures there. So that'll give you what you need to strum it. Again, get my sheet music at the website, playsongnotes.com. It's lesson 395. It's 4 pages. Page 1 gives you the lyrics and everything you need to know. I have strumming patterns, I have chord progressions, and I have the chords all mapped out on page 2. And then pages 3 is where I get into the riff, the tab for the riff, and also the tab for the chorus, which I'm about to show you. And then finally the ending solo, which I have tabbed out on page 4. So this is a really, really proud of this one, and I think it'll help you learn this song. So next up, let's look at this chorus scale riff. This is something that is super fun to play. This is actually the first song I fully learned on guitar ever, and it's really the only song I learned back when I was 13, 14, 15. When I started playing or trying to play a few times, I always ended up quitting. I never got over the hump. But this is one thing I did learn, was this scale run. So what this is going to be basically 2 different scales. It's going to be that scale and this scale. Okay? And then you're going to basically play them a few times each, and I'll show you how to go back and forth. And there's also this quick C sharp riff. That's all it is. It's 4 notes. Pretty learnable there, right? Now, but let's look at these scales. So what's going on here is this is a C, I believe it's a C Mixolydian scale. And what that is if you know your major scales, that's a C major scale, okay? But what we're doing here on that second to last note, this is the major 7th, and this is the root, right? Going back to the 1. Instead of this major 7th, we're going to do a flat 7th. Okay, so listen to that second to last note. That note. That's the note that gives this scale. It makes it stick out. And I believe that's the Mixolydian mode, basically, where you take the major scale and then you flatten the 7th, and that's Mixolydian. So it just gives it a different sound. This note is a B flat, and B flat is in the F major scale, and this song is in the key of F. So that note is in the F major scale. And then the other scale you need is F major. Okay? We're playing that with the open position of F, starting, well, it's as open as it can be, starting on the 1st fret. So how to play those scales? Basically, for the C, we want to have our hands between the 2nd fret and the 5th fret with our 4 fingers, okay? 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret. It's like zone defense. They each have their place they're covering, okay? Starting off on the 5th string, we're going to go from 3rd fret to 5th fret, middle and pinky. Then on the 4th string, index, middle, pinky. Those are the 5 notes. You can play around with them. Play around with them. You know, these are the pieces that we're playing within the sandbox. You don't have to always play them in the exact order of the tab, right? And then for the third line, it's the same 2, 3, 5 that we did on the fourth string, just moved up to the third string. So 3, 5, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5. So that's a scale. Again, I've had the benefit of practicing this one quite a bit, so take your time with it. This is something that you could just spend, nice little exercise you could spend time learning. We're also going to need this F major scale. This is starting on the 6th string, 1st, 3rd, open, 1st, 3rd, open, 2nd, 3rd. Okay? I'm only using these fingers, index, middle, and ring. 1st, 3rd, open, 1st, 3rd, open, 2nd, 3rd. And then those are the building blocks of this whole section here. The only other part is the C sharp. Da, da, da. So 5th string to 4th string. We're going to be on the 4th fret to the 3rd fret of the 4th string, back to the 4th fret of the 5th string. Okay? Now, how do we put it all together? Basically, we're going to do the C scale 3 times. Who knows? Not me. I never lost control. Your face to face with the man who sold the world. Okay, that's all you're going to do. You're just going to play them in sequence like that. Now, the hard part about this you might find is once you learn the scales, you're going to have to play them in succession like this. Go from the top of the C scale, or I messed up, to the bottom of the C scale again. And then go to that F without missing an 8th note. You want to seamlessly keep your tempo. Da, 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 da. To the F. And then here. Okay, so that last note of the F. When you're approaching the end of a scale, you kind of want to get your mind prepared to tell your hand where to go next. Basically, the F scale ends on this note, and I need to get this middle finger right here to start the C scale. So. Okay, so that's basically it. Playing it slow, I kind of mess up a little bit there, but that's how you're going to do that chorus scale part. Now, I think the bass guitars are playing this in the Nirvana version, so if you're singing this by yourself, it's tricky to play the scales and sing at the same time. I'll show you that later in my playthroughs if you want to hear what it sounds like. A long, long time ago. That's how you play the chorus scale riff. I have so much fun with this, and I love this in both the David Bowie version and the Nirvana version. I think the way it's mixed sounds really good. All right, and lastly, we have this solo thing you hear at the end of the song. So basically, if you look at my page 1 of the PDF here, you see these same chords that we're using. The A for 2 measures, D minor for 2 measures. Then back to the F for 2, D minor for 2, A for 2, D minor for 2. And you repeat that again, and then you end on an F, and the whole song ends. Now, on some of these, you see the star with the yellow highlight, which means that we're going to play the riff over those. Now, the solo is happening on all the measures in this ending that don't have the star, okay? And what the solo looks like, this is the great part. It's all one string. You can play it with one finger, just like the riff, right? So if you look at my tab here, we're going to play that D minor riff twice, and that's actually the part right before the solo starts, okay? And I say that in my text on my last page. And the solo starts by this. We're going to be on the 3rd string. the same finger that's on this note, we want to slide up. Now he starts it from going to 8 to 10 to 9. 8, 10, 9. I don't know if he made a mistake. He meant to hit 9. And then you go back down and do the riff. Then go to 10. I'm basically shaking my hand and then go from 10 to 9 to 7. Basically, this whole solo is 10th fret, 9th fret, 7th fret, all on the 3rd string. Now, if you listen to the song a few times, you kind of get the melody in your head, like you can hum it. It makes it a lot easier to figure out the timing. But basically, again, from beginning to end, let me just play it once. And repeat this line again. And it ends with an F, a single strum of the F, and this note just by itself, the A note. So that's basically how you're going to do it. Let me do it one more time. It's kind of weird when I'm just strumming and there's no background, but in this one I'm going to basically say the measure name. Every time you see a bar, that means it's a 4-count measure. So we're going to start with the D minor riff. D minor. Okay, A, 2, 3, 4, D minor. Whoop. D minor. F, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, D minor, 2, 3, 4. Then to A again. Repeat it, that whole line. F, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, D minor, 2, 4, D minor, and A. There. That was super rough, and I'm counting and trying to solo at the same time. But you get it. This is a super fun one to play. Listen to my playthroughs because I'm going to try to layer in the backing guitar as I play on top of it. I think that would be really cool to do. So those playthroughs are members only on my website, playsongnotes.com. Y'all, this is lesson 395. Thanks very much for watching. This is a long one, but this is such a classic song. This probably would be one of my, I don't know, maybe top 5 or 10 favorite songs, performances ever. It just came to me right when I was learning guitar. I love just the lyrics and the whatever. I don't even know what the song is about, but the imagery it evokes and I don't know, super cool stuff, super fun to play. Had a great time with it. So you can get this sheet music via my website. And if you're a member, if you're a Song Notes member, Song Notes is me, my project, okay? Just me. It's a passion project. I make these songs for these lessons for all the songs I learn. I have a membership. I strongly suggest joining it. If you like what I do, if you like me, you like my lessons, you want to see more of my lessons, the support, it truly helps me. It's just a few bucks a month, or you can do an annual thing. It basically is funding my lessons in this project as I try to build this up into a business and be able to do this one day full-time and forever. Now, what you get for your money, you get access. Number one, you save 50%, or you get a discount on all my sheet music, my song sheets. Now, I have a bunch of instructional sheet music as well. I call these like instructional PDFs or practice sheets. These teach you tips and techniques, concepts, music theory, exercises, riffs, fun things to play. I have a whole library of them. You sign up to be a member at any level and you get access to them. Okay, so check out my website for details. You get access to the whole library. You can download the PDFs, keep them forever. They all pair with video lessons. So it's an amazing value you get for not a lot of money. And again, that money is supporting me and making what I do possible. So thanks very much for watching, y'all. Really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one. And the final reminder is I have 2 playthroughs of this song, one in standard tuning and one in E-flat tuning. So you can check that out. Those are members-only videos. Thanks to all of you who are supporting me. Find those both at playsongnotes.com.